on. I hope it's on.
You can still do it.
Okay, hi. So, how do you push through with like all the like difficulties of like breaking off, becoming like a solo artist while still being with Blackfield Rides all at the same time? Like, how were you able to like? Oh, I'm so sorry, by the way. Like, how? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, how were you able to like get the jump that you needed to do like what you thought would be best for like everybody, or like just for yourself?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what is your name?
My name's Taryn.
Thank you. Pass it back. Let's do this.
Okay, there we go. I don't want to drop it on your head. Don't drop it on your head.
Use the horn.
Horn! Don't touch the horn! Do it! Okay, do it!
Do it.
Well, we got that out of the way. People are clapping for me.
Okay, sorry about that. Minor distraction. When I first decided, long story short, or long story long, well, fuck it, let's do the whole story.
Oh, yeah!
So when, where does it start? Okay, it was a little bit after Wretched Divine, and I had loved working with John Feldman, and it was really important to me to find a way to go back to work with him. He was changing, there was some overhead change with his production staff. His engineer at the time had went and kind of done his own thing, and he had new people working there, and it was kind of a transitionary time. At the same time, we were approached by Bob Rock to produce the next Blackfield record. And while I loved working with Feldy, my band was so excited about the prospect, not that they didn't love working with Feldy, but the idea of working with Bob Rock, who produced Metallica and all the crew and all this stuff. And of course I was excited too. I couldn't step in the way of that and say, absolutely not, we're going to work with Feldy again. I didn't want to be that guy, but I knew that I really loved writing music with Feldy and wanted to continue to work with him. So during the pre-production period, right before we started working heavily with Bob for the fourth Blackfield Rides record, I went to Feldman's studio and said, hey, you know how we love all these different like 80s synth bands and all this other stuff, Psychedelic Furs and these other bands. Wouldn't it be fun if we just started writing those kind of songs together for the hell of it? And so we literally sat over the course of like a week and wrote maybe 4 or 5 songs. Most of them were kind of terrible, but they were just for fun. We weren't taking it seriously. We were just writing because we like writing together. And we were kind of doing stuff that sounded very like almost Breakfast Clubby, like very 80s and synthy, like dancing, and you know. But it was fun, and then some of it was a little bit more. By the end of the writing sessions, we kind of started to go, well, maybe if we took this in a little bit darker direction and kind of added more gothy elements to it, maybe this could be something cool. And so we put together what we thought was kind of like a demo for what this was going to be. We didn't know what it was going to be. And while the Blackfield Rides' 4th album was kind of kicking off and recording, I started thinking, well, maybe I could do this also. Maybe I could do another like project that, so long as it doesn't interfere with the band, maybe this is something I can do. So my friend Patrick, who I've been working with for many years, we got together and we made a music video for a song that I had written with a guy named Tommy and a guy named Nick. And basically that song was They Don't Need to Understand. And we felt really confident in it. So we gave it to our label and said, hey, we're going to do this solo record thing. What do you think? And they said, nah. And they said, because, well, and listen, and the reason being is that they were right up against the time of releasing the Blackfield record. And we were like, yeah, we don't want to do it now. So they're like, okay, cool, well then let's wait it out. And so we gave it, kind of went and said, well, if they don't want to release this now, I think people might like it, and I don't want to interfere, but I think people would enjoy it. So we went to Hot Topic and said, hey, would you be interested in doing something with us and collaborating and releasing this, and you could have merchandise in the store, and you'll get to kind of, you know, have the exclusive rights. We're not going to, this by the way is the reason why you can't buy They Don't Need to Understand, because the song is not actually owned by anybody that it can be sold. The masters aren't owned by my label, so they can't sell it. Because that's why it's not on the record, that's why it's not available on iTunes and everything else. So the video was put out by Hot Topic, and then the label came back and said, okay, this is fucking great, we're really into it, let's do it, but let's do it next year. So it's like, great, I don't want to do it now, I'd rather just take some time away from it. So we did the Blackfield cycle, I kind of put it in the back of my mind, and then by the end of October of 2015, everybody in Blackfield was kind of, we'd been touring for 9 months of the year for the last like 4 years, and everybody was kind of burnt out. We're like, okay, I think it's time to take a little bit of got to the point where everybody kind of wanted to take a little bit of a break, and I said, great, I will take my break by doing a whole nother thing. And so I said, I want to go into the studio and I want to work with Feldy, and so we just started it that way. And I didn't have a band, obviously, when I was doing the solo record. So we brought in people like Patrick Stump and Gerard Way and the guys from The Used and so many other bands. And they kind of helped us make the record day by day. It was like having a new band every day. It was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it so much that I'm actually going to do, when this tour is over, I'm going to do the second 80 Live record. So I'm really excited about that.